Alright, so let's talk about Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut. Of course, if you didn't catch my review last week, I reviewed Superman 2. This week we were talking about Superman 2 again, but we're talking about the Richard Donner version. And I'm not going to go over the whole story of why there's two different cuts of Superman 2. If you don't know, not going to go over it again. But I will say, this is kind of a weird cut of this movie because it's kind of like, it's not really clear which version is better. Honestly, like, there's like a lot of people prefer the Richard Donner cut, some people don't. I think they're similar enough that it just makes it hard. For me, I love Richard Donner as a director, so I prefer his cut of the movie. But even Richard Donner, there's an introduction on this 4K Blu-ray copy of the movie, and even Richard Donner says it's the closest to my original version of that movie. And that's the best way to describe it. It's the closest version of it. Because they still have to use versions of moments from the original theatrical version because Richard Donner didn't get to finish shooting the rest of the movie. So there's probably parts of this movie that would have been completely different. We will just never really know, to be honest. And so I think the way the way things are recut, the story's a little bit cleaner and just flows a little bit better. That's just for me. I think the scenes that are shot by Richard Donner, while almost being the same, again, I just prefer a little bit more. Just because I like the way Richard Donner directs scenes a lot more. And I think the Marlon Brando stuff, which is the main addition, is all added back in. Basically, Warner Brothers didn't really want to shell out the money to get Marlon Brando back. Richard Donner and him fought about that. They shot some scenes, but they wanted to put, so they just went with, in the theatrical version, Superman's mother instead of Marlon Brando. I like the Marlon Brando stuff more. He is a really great presence, and there's no real Superman lore really that I can think of where it's never been Superman's dad being the one to talk to him and encourage him and things like that. I think it is really good version of this movie that I think actually deepens the film for me. I know people are split 50-50. I get it, but this is my favorite of the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, to be honest with you. I think a lot of the story with this movie is kind of a template for what we get in Spider-Man 2 and movies like that. And I really enjoy it. Next week we'll be talking about Superman 3, Superman 4, and then we'll detour into the Superman 78 comic series. And then we'll talk about the Superman Returns, Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, all that stuff. Lots of Superman stuff coming this year for you guys. Superman is really grabbing my attention right now. Let me know your thoughts, like, share, and subscribe.